Welcome to another episode of Royal Rumble. Please stand by for the upcoming fight. This time, the Vampire Counts facing up against Bretonnia.
So welcome to a new episode of Royal Rumble, and thank you as always for tuning in. This time always also with a multiple battle cast, so I have two replays for you, very cool games. Both are the same matchup, so I'm playing with a Vampire Count and I'm facing up against Bretonnia. So overall, I think finally Bretonnia made it to the top. So they are, in my opinion, the best faction in the game. Before the Regiments of Renown, or before the latest patch, it was, in my opinion, Vampire Count. So Vampire Count was the best faction. But after the Regiments of Renown, I think Bretonnia get a huge buff, or they have a huge advantage. So the new units, Regiment of Renown units, are very big advantage in this matchup for Bretonnia. So, as I said, Bretonnia finally made it to the top. In my opinion, the best faction of the game, and the matchup is in favor for Bretonnia against Vampire Count, but not so much. So you also have a good chance with Vampire Count to win against Bretonnia. And yeah, let's start over here with my army composition. So I have, as you can see here, 3 units of Felbats, always flying above my infantry. So as I said in a former video, they are natural shield against arrows. And you can really react really fast, so you can directly fly to his bowman, his peasant bowman, or also against missile cavalry. You can react really fast, and they are really annoying against all missile infantry. They make a lot of damage actually against missile infantry, so it's very good over here. They're very good. I love the Felbats, very good. Then I have 4 units of skeleton warriors in the front line. So cheap infantry unit, low tier infantry unit, but shielded, and melee attack and melee defense stats overall are low, but weapon strength is good, it's okay. Also armor piercing is low, but for that price they perform really well, and I put them in the front line in combination with directly behind that 4 units of Graveguard. So the Graveguard will perform the Skeleton Warriors in the front line, and this combination is very, very strong. So you are very fine if you have this combination and compete against the Bretonnian front line. Because the Graveguard, the usual Graveguards, this is not a Graveguard, not a Great Weapon Graveguards, so these are usual Graveguards. You can see here, the weapon strength is huge, and the armor piercing amount is also okay. Yeah, they have a real bonus versus infantry, and they will perform very, very well against Bretonnian infantry. And in this combination, you are always very fine. It works always very fine. In my opinion, the Graveguards, these units are one of the best infantry units in the game. If you look on the cost efficiency, because they perform even without armor piercing damage, even without a significant amount of armor piercing damage, they perform very well. And also, it's not so important to bring a lot of armor piercing against Bretonnia, because Bretonnia the armor is mid-range. They are not really heavily armored. It's okay, so they perform well. On the side, I have skeleton spearmen to defend myself from flankings of Bretonnian cavalry, and yeah. So on each side, you can see that I have 1 group of skeleton spearmen, just for protection, just for the protection of my front line. Then I have Varix Reaver, Black Knights. They are also very strong. The charge bonus is huge. Weapon strength is okay. It's okay. Good. Melee attack and melee stats are also good. The performance is really mid-range. Yeah, you can say mid-range, high-tier infantry cavalry unit. And the performance against, of course, especially against infantry, is very good. But also in combination with Blood Knights, you can charge into Grey Knights, and so they need support of other cavalry if they compete against cavalry. But against low-tier cavalry of Bretonnia, they should also perform really well. So very good over here, but I'm using them to compete or to charge in against the enemy front line, so against infantry units. Then, in my opinion, you don't have any other option as Blood Knights, so you have to bring Blood Knights. I don't know. I don't know other build in which you are not bringing any Blood Knights against Bretonnia. It's so important. The Blood Knights are I think actually the third best, or the third. If you rank the cavalry, they are on the third place, I think. So they have performed very well against Grey Knights, and it's a must-have, in my opinion, to bring 2 against Bretonnia. That you can compete against the cavalry, because you have to compete against the cavalry, because Vampire Count has no other things. The Vampire Count has no artillery. Vampire Count has missile infantry. So you have to bring a lot of mobility with you, or you need mobility, so you need cavalry, and then the only option is Blood Knights, because the Blood Knights are only able to compete against Grey Knights. So very, very important, because also in the air you cannot bring any dragon or stuff, because the Bretonnian Air Force is so strong. With Royal Pegasus Knights you cannot. So the mobility in the air is also not possible, so you have to do it with cavalry. Then with that, I support always my cavalry with a Red Duke. So the Red Duke is very strong, and on that horse, it's very good. The armor piercing is not very big, but it's okay. You don't need a lot of armor piercing, as I said. The weapon strength is okay. Also leadership and armor, overall stats okay, and he has raised that. Invocation of Nihek, that is very important. And I don't like Wind of Death, I barely use it. But in some cases, a Bretonnian player used to blob, so they create a blob, and then it's very cool to have a Wind of Death to clean that up. So if you had a wide formation, you don't need it. I'm used to cast Raise That and Invocation of Nihek. So that's my army composition, and yeah, let's go to my opponent over here. So typically Royal Pegasus Knights against large units. The most Bretonnian player will expect then Mortis Engine, but in my opinion it's a bad decision to bring a Mortis Engine, because the Peasant Bowman can snipe it out very fast, and also the Royal Pegasus Knight, the Mortis Engine will go down really fast. But also the Royal Pegasus Knights perform of course very well against the Blood Knights, but it's okay. So we have Knights of the Lionhearted, Knights of the Realm, the new regiments of renown units. So the performance is good, but not that good as Grey Knights. But overall the charge bonus is huge, but the weapon strength is not so good. Melee stats, melee attack is okay. Overall it's okay, but they are not able to compete against Blood Knights alone. So you have Knights Errant over here. So Knights Errant also good, but especially against infantry. So I have not a real anti-infantry bonus, but they are designed to compete against infantry. So this combination, maybe with the Royal Pegasus Knights, can compete good, but it's not typically. You have to bring Grey Knights, in my opinion, because the Blood Knights are so strong. So as I said, our unit of Blood Knights can kill a unit of Grey Knights. And Knights of the Lionhearted combined with Knights Errant are, in my opinion, not the best pick to do that, to compete against Blood Knights. But don't get me wrong, the Knights Errant and the Knights of the Lionheart are very good, but not against Blood Knights. So in addition, it's okay if he would have a group of Grey Knights, but not alone. Then we have Foot Squires over here. Very good pick, because it's very important to compete against Graveguards, and not other the other Bretonnian infantry units are not able to do that. So Foot Squire is a very good pick over here. We have the Legendary Beastlers of Bastogne. You can see he directly go to support his cavalry with them, so they will perform really well against Blood Knights. So very good over here. Then we have a Damsel with Law of Life, typically to heal up his units. Nothing special. Spearmen and Arms, Men at Arms and Pole Arms, Battle Pilgrims. Of course, it's also very good to bring Battle Pilgrims. Battle Pilgrims, in fact, should really trade quite even against Graveguards, in my opinion. Then we have Grain Reliquae to pump up the leadership. A group of Spearmen and Arms. The Holy Wardens of Lemas and Tal, also Battle Pilgrims over here, very good. Legendary unit, perform very good against Graveguards. Another unit of Foot Squires, and another unit of Knights Errant, this time the Defenders of the Fleur des Lis. Sorry for the pronunciation, I'm not sure. But they are, in fact, good, but also very good against infantry. So his plan maybe was to flank my infantry like this, but now he has to compete against my Blood Knights over here. Also, I have a unit of Skeleton Spearmen that will join over here, and yeah. So to his commander, he has a Paladin, it's okay for the support, and a just the Lord, very cheap option of Bretonnia on a Pegasus, because I'm not sure. I would bring Alberic de Bordelot maybe. So in my opinion, he's too weak. It's okay, but but I would bring a Alberic, I think, on a Hippogriff, but I'm not sure. So let's start over here. So you can see now here the charge in. And also on the front line over here, wide front line, wide fight, very good. No blobbing whatsoever. But you can see my Blood Knights are coming with a group of Skeleton Spearmen. You can see it here, now it's charge in. The Royal Pegasus Knights, the Blood Knights also. Wide fight over here. And also the Beast Slayers Le Bastion will join over here. I'm going to heal everything up. So you can see, Invocation of the Heck. I overcasted Invocation of the Heck, and my Blood Knights take a lot of damage actually from the charge in from the Royal Pegasus Knights and from the Lord. But the other group is really healthy. But also the Skeleton Spearman took so much damage. You can see the leadership is on 0 over here, and his healthy Beast Slayers of Bastogne very good over here on the back line. Now you have here, he managed it very well. He used the Knights Errant to compete against the infantry. Very good over here of my opponent. You can see the charge in my back line. Very good, very good. He supports his front line, his infantry, with this group over here. Another Invocation of Nehek. See, wild fight over here in the front line. And the performance overall is quite good. But you can see over here, also very wild fight. A group of the Skeleton Spearmen fighting against this group of Knights Errant. And also I supported them with the Falbards. So I sent them to kill, to support. So he had no Peasant Bowman. So I had no legit target for them. So I can send them also in a group of cavalry or weak infantry. The Falbards perform really good for that price. So I decided I have to support this part over here, because this is the game. If I'm going to win over here, I will win the game. If my opponent will win over here, he will win the game. So I decided to bring my Black Knights, my Varix Reavers, for a charge in the backline. They have to support this side over here. You can see that now. So it was really important, but he saw that and he fighted them again with a group of Foot Squires. But overall, it works really well with Invocation of Nehek to heal up my units. You can see a Rise dead in the backline, typically, that he is not able to escape. So at the beginning it looks quite good for him. Now you can see things are a little bit different, not as much. You can see it was really good. The invocation of the hack, you can see that at the beginning there was very low, this group over here, but I managed it to heal them up. So now half health again. Very good over here. And see, the frontline fight also works quite well for my opponent. It was very good. You can see I managed to kill the Knights Errant over here, the Defenders of Fleur de Lis, and I chased them out with my Felbats. Also very good to do that with the Felbats. But overall the frontline fight works quite well for him. You can see my Red Duke is very low on health, but also his Lord is routing now. Very wild fight over here, very close. Very good. So it's very low on health over here. You can see another charge in. I've supported this side over here with my Barracks Reaver. So they are not so strong to compete against the backline with the Beast Slayers and the Knights of the Leonhardet, but constantly charge in. They will make a significant amount of damage to the backline over here. But you can see I also didn't notice that I joined the fight with one unit of Graveguard. So you can see now with the Graveguards and Blood Knights, I was really able to turn this around over here. But as I said, I was not expecting this good performance. I think it was also in addition with the Royal Pegasus Knights, his cavalry performed really well, and also this new Beast Slayers of Bastogne. The performance is so strong. So in the front line, finally I managed to kill his units. So he had no support of his cavalry, and I chased the Knights Errant out. So I managed to kill his complete front line and to win the infantry fight. But I also took a lot of losses over here. It was not so easy to do that. So I had a group of Knights Errant over here, charging in my backline. Very good from him. Very good. So I'm sandwiched over here. You can see that. But a lot of units over here from on my side. Grave Guards, Zombies, Skeleton Spearmen. Now I put one unit of... This is the only unit left, Blood Knights, to chase away his Knights Errant. Now I saw that they are routing and charge in again. You can see it from the back line. That's it. Another charge in from my Barracks Reavers. Very good over here. So it was a really close fight. It was a lot of fun, really good. It was not so easy. But overall, I noticed that I had a lot of problems in this matchup. So Vampire Count is really struggle against Bretonnia after the latest patch with the Regiments of Renown. Because the Holy Walls of Lemos and Tal, but also the Beast Slayers of Bastogne, the performance is so good. So the matchup before was quite even, so a little bit Vampire Count was in favor, but now Bretonnia has made it. So let's go to the second one. I will not show you my army composition, of course. I said everything about that. It's also a really good game over here. So I hope you enjoyed the first one. Now directly go on the second one. It's also a lot of fun. So I directly go here. So directly go to my opponent. We have men-at-arms and polearms, spear, men-at-arms, low tier infantry, front line, a lot of anti-infantry, anti-cavalry units, a lot of spearmen, and on the side, Knights of the Realm. Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Realm. So the Knights of the Realm, of course, he has 4 units. So they should perform in this huge amount really good. But overall, single, so without any other unit, they cannot perform really well against the Blood Knights. But you can see This is one of the reasons Bretonnia is so good, because they have a lot of variation in the cavalry. So you can see they can bring 4 units of cavalry. Of course, the infantry is very weak, but it's not so easy to handle that on each side. So I have to watch out for the charge in, and also cannot only compete. I have to go with two. You cannot split them. I cannot put out 1 unit of Blood Knights over here and can fight one with them over here and one over here. That's not possible. I have to compare both, or I have to not compare, but I have to fight with both units and have to manage the other side with my infantry. But I have also this Varix Reaver, of course. So we have a charge in over here. I send him directly, you can see that. They are designed for do that. Felbats to attack his peasant bowmen. But in this case, they already take a lot of damage. They were not able to kill them. But you can see he's not able to shoot on my front line. Not one frontline unit was killed from the peasant bowman. And in my opinion, it was worth it. And now the gap to the front line, you can see that is really close. So he is not able directly to shoot on my units over here. Understand? So you have to go away. So you have to go back, and then he's able to shoot on the front line, because this is too close. So I have a charge in over here, also with the King Luan Lüdenkehr. So you have a King Luan Lüdenkehr, really good decision, really good pick. You can see, directly sent also a group of Spearmen and Arms directly in there. I decided to bring also a group of Brave Guard always in here. Very good, very wild fight over here. But his Knights Errant take a lot of damage still. You can see, Knights of the Realm, they took a lot of damage from the Blood Knights. But he also managed it to kill 1 unit of Blood Knights completely. And also his King Luan Lüdenkehr made a lot of damage. In some cases it makes a difference if you bring him, but it's very healthy and made a lot of damage to this unit over here. So white frontline fight, always very good for me. So if you have a white formation as Bretonnia, you have a disadvantage against Vampire Count. So Vampire Count, it is an advantage for Vampire Count to compete against the white formation. So because Vampire Count, the infantry overall is quite strong. It's not the strongest, but it's okay. But the infantry is stronger than the infantry of Bretonnia. Because Bretonnia has to bring a lot of cavalry, and then the infantry is weaker than the vampire player. You can see it runs quite well. So also the Knights of the Realm are in here, but also the Knights of the Realm are designed for, you can see the charge bonus, that is enormous, it's huge, 68. So they are designed for cycle charge, in and out and in and out. So don't put them in melee combat. The stats are very bad, you can see that. 30 and 24 is not very good. So put them out and put them in. But he had a lot of trouble over here, so I think he forgot this. So the Skeleton Spearmen performed quite well. You can see they are able to kill the Skeleton Spearmen, but overall my Skeleton Spearmen took a lot of models out over here. So I also in this match I brought my Varix Reavers on this side over here again, because I need the support. But you can see overall I also was managed to turn this around and kill the Luan Lüdenkehr over here, and his paladin, or the cavalry at least. But this really healthy group of Knights of the Realm are chasing in over here. You can see that. But I managed to bring his King Luan Lüdenkehr to rout. He's routing now, and he'd like to escape. But the frontline fight, as you can see, of course, my Grave Guards are really healthy, but they stand the ground, the Spearmen at Arms. So you can see they are very steady, and they're able to hold the line. You can see here now the charge in from the Varix Reavers. So the peasant bowmen are are now free. The Felbats are dead, and now I have to manage it to that they are not shoot on my front line. This would be really bad. So I used the Varix Reaver to kill them. But he was a really good player. He noticed that and sent my group of Spearmen at Arms, or sent a group of Spearmen at Arms from the front line. So I have a little bit of protection over here. Very good from our opponent. So you can see this. I think this game was from my latest live stream, or one of my latest live streams. You can see here, I was not able to kill him. He's routing, but he's on 400 health, and it was not so easy to chase him away or to kill him. I use this Varix Reaver again to charge in this group. You can see now that everything is routing. This was too much for them. And of course, on this side, the front line broke up. But this was because he, as I said, he put away one unit of Spearmen and Arms, or he had to support his backline. And then the front line gets a little bit weaker, and it is broke up. And now I was able to go through the front line to the back line with my Grave Guards. And this was too much for him. And now I managed it to win over here. So he had a Paladin, really healthy Paladin, but he is not able to kill every unit over here. The rest is routing. So here's another Paladin. I'm not sure how the performance... Yeah, with a Paladin and King Lu and Lyca, with two Paladins also on a flying mount, you are very able to snipe out Vampire Count, Lords, but yeah, maybe it's good to bring them. But in this case, they will not make no difference over here. They're very good for sniping out enemy Lords and Heroes, but they are not really designed to compete against enemy cavalry or infantry. You can see they are shaking, everything is shaking. I chase everything away, and this is quite over here. So thank you for tuning in. You can see the performance also of the Skeleton Warriors is quite good. As I said, the combination of Skeleton Warriors with Grave Guards is really good and really cheap combination. So it's not so they are low tier infantry and the Grave Guards are mid-range infantry. So in combination they perform really good, really well performance. You can see the kills over here, it's incredible. 115. So very good. Also my opponent, I think too much Knights of the Realm, but also overall it was a really competitive build, and you can see the performance of his infantry was also really good. So thank you for tuning in, and let me know what you think, and let me know what you would like to see next, and see you on the next episode of Royal Rumble. Thank you.